This is the case of Nasim Aghdam, the woman who had a major beef with YouTube. Nasim Najafi Aghdam was many things: a passionate animal rights activist, a multilingual content creator, and, tragically, the perpetrator of a rare and shocking act of violence at YouTube's headquarters in California. Her name entered global headlines in April 2018 when she opened fire at the tech giant's campus, injuring 3 people before turning the gun on herself. But long before that moment of horror, Nasim's life was marked by a complex tapestry of beliefs, frustrations, and personal ambitions that ultimately spiraled into a fatal tragedy. Born on April 5, 1979, in Urmia, Iran, Nasim Aghdam was part of the Azerbaijani ethnic minority and a follower of the Bahá'í Faith, a religion often subjected to persecution in her homeland. In 1996, she immigrated to the United States with her family in search of freedom, safety, and opportunity. They settled in Southern California, where Nasim began to forge her identity in a new world that celebrated individuality, creativity, and expression. From an early age, Nasim showed an affinity for visual, arts, and performance. She was eccentric and expressive, often seen in homemade costumes, dancing, singing, and later, once the digital age matured, creating videos. Her energy was undeniable. In another life, she might have been a niche internet celebrity, a vegan, activist influencer, or a YouTuber with a cult following. But that trajectory would be disrupted by growing disillusionment and a fervent belief that her voice was being silenced. Long before social media stardom became mainstream, Nasim Aghdam was already experimenting with various online platforms. She posted videos in multiple languages: Persian, English, Turkish, and Azerbaijani, touching on veganism, animal rights, fitness routines, satire, and esoteric comedy. Her style was often surreal, mixing vibrant visuals with deadpan delivery and offbeat messages. In many of her clips, she dressed in flamboyant outfits and used green screens to place herself in psychedelic settings. Her content was often confusing to casual viewers but deeply sincere to her. She wasn't chasing virality. She was building an online world where she could express her passion for animals, rage against the meat industry, and protest what she saw as the world's apathy. Aghdam was also a committed animal rights activist. She took part in protests organized by People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, at one point dressing in a blood-splattered outfit to decry the use of pigs in military training exercises. Her commitment was real, but her isolation in the digital sphere may have heightened her growing paranoia. Nasim's relationship with YouTube was once that of a loyal and enthusiastic creator. She uploaded regularly, engaged with her followers, and found meaning in reaching a small but devoted audience. But around 2016 to 2017, YouTube began implementing stricter content monetization policies. Dubbed the Adpocalypse, the platform's new algorithms and guidelines demonetized many videos deemed controversial or inappropriate, even in vague or algorithmic ways. For creators like Aghdam, whose content was unusual and highly specific, the change was catastrophic. She believed YouTube had unfairly targeted her channels, filtering her videos, lowering her view counts, and cutting off her ad revenue. To her, it was not just a financial loss, but a personal betrayal and a silencing of her voice. She created websites and social media posts criticizing YouTube, accusing the company of censorship and discrimination. On one of her websites, she wrote, "There is no free speech in the real world, and you will be suppressed for telling the truth that is not supported by the system." Her tone grew more agitated, and her digital footprint became a window into an increasingly distressed mind. On March 31, 2018, Nasim's family reported her missing. Her father, Ismail Aghdam, told authorities that she may have been heading to YouTube's headquarters and had voiced hatred for the company. On April 3rd, police found her sleeping in her car in Mountain View, near YouTube's campus. After questioning her, they concluded she was not a threat and let her go. Later that day, Nasim entered YouTube's headquarters in San Bruno with a legally purchased Smith & Wesson 9mm handgun. At around lunchtime, she opened fire, injuring 3 employees before fatally shooting herself. Authorities later determined that she was not targeting specific individuals. Her attack was intended as a message to the platform she believed had wronged her. The event shocked the nation. Mass shootings are tragically common in America, but female perpetrators are exceedingly rare, particularly in cases of premeditated workplace violence. Nasim's actions defied conventional profiles, leaving law enforcement and psychologists scrambling to understand what drove her to such extremes. YouTube responded by reinforcing security measures and reviewing safety protocols. The shooting also highlighted the limitations of law enforcement in interpreting potential warning signs, especially when family members attempt to intervene before a tragedy occurs. To this day, Nasim Aghdam remains a complex and haunting figure. Neither villain nor martyr, but a deeply troubled individual who saw herself at war with a system she couldn't navigate. Her story sits at the intersection of digital culture, mental health, and the painful consequences of alienation in the internet age. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos like these.